Hey, what's up, everybody? You know what? We get a lot of questions about the weather here in Colorado Springs, and so I kind of wanted to talk to you about it, and we're going to get started right now. Hey, what's going on, everybody? I am Mark Hubert with My Front Range Living, powered by RE/MAX Integrity here in Colorado Springs. I am a full-time real estate agent in Colorado Springs, and today we are going to talk about the weather in our fair city. I adore our weather. We have 300 plus days of sunshine here in Colorado Springs, and that is awesome. Another great part about our weather is the fact that it is super, super mild. And by that, what I mean is it never swings too far one way or the other, too cold or too hot or too rainy or too anything like that. It's pretty mild year round. In fact, I am on a 5-year streak of putting up and taking down my Christmas lights in shorts and a t-shirt. So you can have 60-degree days in January, November, even in December. It happens, zero question. We've been on kind of a roll where it gets colder come late January, early February, which, you know, you typically think that winter is December and January, so on and so forth. But hey, I'm not a meteorologist. So another thing about the weather here in Colorado Springs is very, very low humidity. Having come from East Central Illinois, where it's a gazillion% humidity almost all the time, because of our elevation here in Colorado Springs, we have a tendency to hover in about the 20 to 25% range for humidity, which is really, really low. Now, what that means is when you come out here, it's very, very dry, so prepare to bring some lotion. You need lotion to keep your skin nice and moisturized. My wife says so. Now, the other cool part about that elevation and the sun and how mild it is even when we get snow, the snow has a tendency to melt very, very quickly because we're so close to the sun. So a lot of times what will happen here in Colorado Springs is we will have school delays as opposed to closures. Not to say that we won't have closures on occasion of the larger events, but with a standard snow of 1 inch to 2 inches, a lot of schools will just do a delay because by 10 o'clock, the snow is going to have melted off of the pavement, and it's going to be okay to drive and you're going to be safe. Now, one thing that I will tell you is, while I believe the weather to be super, super awesome in Colorado Springs, it does have a tendency to be bipolar. When Mother Nature crosses our borders and comes to say hi, she oftentimes needs medication. We will start our mornings, for example, say in the 40s or something like that, and by the afternoon, like today, it's going to be in the mid 80s. So a 40-degree swing, and then like I said, you also have 60-degree days where you can hit the golf course in January. She's a little weird. As a matter of fact, we were talking about it earlier. It snowed in May. A darn good snow, like late May of this year. It snowed in Colorado Springs. So Mother Nature, I don't know if she's drinking in Utah on her way from the west. I don't know what she's doing, but when she gets here, she's a little off her rocker and has a tendency to be bipolar. The other thing that you should know about Colorado Springs weather is it has a tendency to be extreme on occasion. And by that, what I mean is hail. A couple of years ago, we had a hailstorm that was really, really substantial and caused a lot of damage here in the city. So hail, especially with the weather coming off the foothills, it has a tendency, the weather patterns, again, ask Brian Bledsoe, but those weather patterns have a tendency to create some really good hailstorms. Another thing that happens here in Colorado Springs is we have a tendency to be pretty windy. I can remember January 9th a few years ago pretty vividly, specifically here in our neck of the woods in Colorado Springs. We had Hurricane 4, Category 4 winds sustained. That wasn't the gust, that was sustained. It was anywhere between 90 and 110 miles an hour all day long. So that was not all that fun. Because of the wind and things like that, and on top of the fact that we're pretty dry, we don't get a lot of rain, and we'll talk about that here in a second. But fires, you'll see a lot of stories about fires here in Colorado Springs, just because it is so dry. Fires can spark pretty easily, and we, of course, with the foothills and everything else, the forests are really, really close by, so we have fires. So what I wanted to talk to you about with that precipitation in regards to rain and things of that nature is the fact that we're in a semi-arid climate. So what that means is here's a desert, and then we're right above it. We're in that particular zone. Okay, so we don't get a lot of moisture out here in Colorado Springs. We just don't. It doesn't rain that often, and so that, because of we're being dry and then the wind drying everything out that much more, we're really, really prone to fires. So a couple of things with that. Number one, we don't grow a whole bunch of Kentucky bluegrass out here. We are very much into xeriscaping, which is kind of a lower maintenance, water-free option for landscaping. And we also take a lot of, we're very, very cognizant of fire mitigation, limbing up trees and making sure that if a fire were to come through, we're doing the best we can to protect ourselves. So that's what I know from a real estate agent standpoint on weather here in Colorado Springs. It's good stuff. And as always, if you have any questions, feel free to hit us up. We hope you found value in the video. I am Mark Hubert with My Front Range Living. Thanks for stopping by. We hope you have a great day. We'll see you soon.